Hey, Sherrod.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm well. How about you?
I'm great. I'm here dealing with a sick child too, so sorry.
Oh,
All right.
oh man. Well, I'm sending y'all some positive healing vibes.
Mhm.
Welcome, everyone. I think it's something going around because I know my cousin's little boy was sick with a little bug. I recognize it's 6 p.m. on the dot, but should we give it another minute or two to allow more folks to trickle in?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Awesome. Well, it looks like we have quorum. Okay, well, we can get started and we'll just welcome other folks into the space as they join us. But I will go ahead and call the meeting to order for our March CAC meeting. And I will ask our secretary to do the roll call for us. Sherrod?
Good evening, everyone. As your name is called, please respond by saying here or present. Valen Alford,
Present.
Rashaki Furnace,
Present.
Leah Efford Green,
Present.
Robert Brown, Ahmed Ali,
Present.
Alicia Curry,
Present.
Brian Langloss,
Present.
Matthew Munting, Richard LeBennett,
Present.
Seth Candle,
Here.
Shonda Wilson,
Present.
Jennifer Ganzer, and Tori Cook.
Here.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Sherrod. And next we will review and approve our minutes for February. But I do recognize that we accidentally shared the minutes for February earlier. And so I just wanted to check in and see if maybe we want to table the vote on the approval for next month. Have folks had a chance to review it and feel comfortable voting on the approval now, or would you prefer to table? I
I
mean,
did not have a chance to review, so I move that we do table.
okay,
Yeah.
I second.
Yeah.
okay.
Definitely.
Okay, perfect. So, so then do we need a vote then? If it's
Yeah.
been moved and seconded? Okay, all in favor of tabling our vote to approve the February minutes until our next meeting in April. All in favor say aye.
I
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Okay, it has been properly moved and seconded and approved. And so we will approve the February CAC minutes during our April call. Thank you all. And next we will have our Community Development Department update from our Planning and Performance Manager, Miss Maggie Carnegie.
Thank you, Valen. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is well. So a couple different items I wanted to share on behalf of the department. The first thing is tomorrow you should be receiving as part of our listserv notification posted on our website, notice of substantial amendments to our consolidated plan and annual action plans from 2021 through 2024. And there will be a public hearing before City Council on April 21st, 2025 at 7 p.m. And these substantial amendments are for our Community Development Block Grant, CDBG funding source, and our Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS, or our HOPWA funding source. And they're kind of fourfold. There are some administrative updates we are making for HOPWA, like expanding our con plan to allow for all eligible HOPWA activities to be carried out if we so choose. Correcting some administrative items, like they're called goal outcome indicators, which are essentially performance measures. So we need to make some corrections for those to assist us with more accurate year-end reporting via our Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, or CAPER. And then there is some reallocation of funding for both CDBG and HOPWA. The reallocation of funding in HOPWA is moving monies around in the FY 23-24 and FY 24-25 AAP to the resource identification activity. That funding reallocation will support us in bringing on a consultant to help us do a variety of work, like needs assessments, some strategic planning, some resource identification, since that HOPWA funding source serves 5 counties, not just Durham. So we're doing those funding reallocations, and then with CDBG, we are doing some funding reallocation towards a defeasance payment on our Section 108 loan. And so you'll be able to see within those substantial amendments, funding charts that outline the reallocation of money and a summation of what those administrative updates are in greater detail, but those are forthcoming. I think I mentioned last month that we are deep in the FY 2026 budget process. So tomorrow, Reginald is going to be giving a presentation to the city manager on our budget requests and some performance-related items, some of the financials of our department. And then thereafter, that will roll up into the city manager's presentation to council. Our department may also be selected by city council to give a greater deep dive into our proposed budget. So that's something to look forward to. If that does happen, we'll make sure to let folks know if and when we'd be giving that deeper dive. And then we are working with DHA to close on 2 of their remaining projects under the Forever Home Durham initiative, that $58 million bond allocation that went to DHA. These 2 projects are Fayette Place, which will result in 252 affordable units, and Forest Hill Heights, which DHA is calling Tribute Rising, and that's 185 affordable rental units. So these are some pretty big projects with, like I said, what remains of our Forever Home Durham bond commitment to Durham Housing Authority. And so we hope that we'll be able to get those closed, if not by the end of this fiscal year, the start of FY 2026. And then we are also preparing the release of multiple competitive requests for proposals in the coming weeks and months. A few I wanted to highlight: our Home Investment Partnerships Program, American Rescue Plan. Home ARP is the acronym. There's going to be about $4.1 million of funding released under that one-time allocation, and we're going to be soliciting vendors, developers to construct a minimum. Our goal is 25 rental units to benefit the qualifying populations outlined in what's called a home ARP allocation plan. Because this was a one-time funding source as a result of COVID, it has very specific requirements about who it can serve, what the eligible uses are, and we had to communicate our intentions for that funding via an allocation plan. So we're going to be releasing that RFP in alignment with that allocation plan. Then we are also preparing and hope the next month RFP for HOPWA, the Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS funding source. And it's to the tune of about $1.3 million for a variety of activities, tenant-based rental assistance, short-term rent mortgage utility payments, supportive services, permanent housing placement, some of the eligible activities that we've identified and allocated funding to in our recent years' annual action plans. So that is forthcoming. And then we also have a rental preservation RFP that we will be releasing again in the coming month or so. And that is also within the Forever Home Durham initiative. It has some bond funding tied to it with a goal of trying to preserve 10 rental units as a result of that funding. And additionally, we have an RFP currently posted on our website accepting applications. That's for the accessory dwelling unit or ADU pilot program. And that RFP, the proposal deadline date is May 16th, 2025. We hosted an information session, believe it was last week. We're still accepting questions surrounding the RFP if folks have them. So I recommend that individuals go to our website to take a look at that RFP, or they can find more details on the city's purchasing website under bid postings. And the last item I wanted to share, and I just wanted to make folks aware that in the coming weeks, we may need to change our meeting format, moving from virtual to in-person. I am still awaiting more specific guidance from the city clerk's office and our city attorney's office. But for compliance around public meetings law, state law, we may need to make this transition. So I will keep folks posted. If that does happen, I will send out an email to everyone. And if that's going to have any, and when that'll have impacts or implications. I just didn't want folks to be caught off guard once I have some more guidance and can send out that email. And that's all I have for the department update. Does anyone have any questions?
That's a lot. Thank you.
Shocking. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Well, then, Valen, I'll kick it back to you.
Thank you so much, Maggie. I appreciate it, and appreciate learning about all of the things that are going on with the Community Development Department. Next, we will talk about the mayor's attendance. As you all know, we have requested for Mayor Williams to attend our April meeting, and he has confirmed. And after he confirmed, his office requested any talking points that we would like for him to discuss when he meets with us. And so we then sent out a survey to capture the feedback from everyone on this committee so that we could share it with the mayor's office. So thank you to everyone for sharing your questions, comments, and concerns. I have shared those talking points with the mayor's office, and I will forward what I sent to his office to this committee. But just as an overview, as you saw with the questions on the survey, we try to frame them sort of on the mission around the Citizens Advisory Committee. And so the preface is that basically we work to facilitate citizens' participation in the planning and implementation of the Durham Community Development Block Grant programs. And so there were some categories basically that we wanted him to focus on as outlined on the city website. So decent, affordable housing, services for the most vulnerable, job expansion and retention, jobs, including expansion and retention of businesses, as well as the impact of national and state politics the last two, the impact of national and state politics and the holistic approach to government were more so just related to the current state of affairs in the world, and the holistic approach to government. As we know, last year when Mayor Williams joined us for our meeting, he really talked about his vision, which includes a holistic approach to government. And so some of the things that we captured in the survey that folks wanted to inquire about, have the mayor speak about where it relates to affordable housing. I'll just note one from each section as I'll share the actual full talking points. So we had a good 2 pages, so I don't even know if he will cover all of them, but I think we have given his office, him and his office, plenty to work with. So with decent affordable housing, one of the questions we had was what steps is the city taking with developers to implement affordable housing units in all developments that are being built in Durham? Someone asked about there's existing affordable housing that may not be in good condition. Is the city being proactive with code enforcement and minimum housing code related to services for the most vulnerable? People wanted to know, let's see, why is the city prioritizing bike lanes so aggressively? Someone also asked, is the city of Durham actively engaged in supporting the organizations that are providing services to the homeless community? Related to jobs, expansion and retention of businesses. We asked what is being done to help small businesses. We also asked if someone said that larger businesses and corporations are moving into Durham without hiring individuals from the community, threatening the viability of local businesses, driving up property taxes, and also impacting gentrification. How is the city of Durham addressing this as it relates to national and state politics in Durham? We asked, how will we stand up to the current presidential administration and state legislatures who are following his lead? What, if any, federal funding for Durham housing programs will be cut or have been cut? And then as it relates to a holistic approach to government, is there a ratio affordable housing requirement for developers when it comes to requesting zoning approvals and plans from the city of Durham? If so, what is being done? So I mean, a lot of this, I think, the categories are all interdependent, and they all complement each other in some way. So I think that I'm looking forward to when the mayor comes to speak with us. Like I said, I will share the full document so you all can look at it. And then also we can kind of be prepared in case there is something that he may not get to cover that we could follow up on. But certainly, again, thank you everybody for your feedback. And yeah, I mean, I think we sent him a wide variety of things to work with, and I'm sure that we will have an eventful, engaging phone call with the mayor next month.
Agreed. And thank you, Valen, for that summary.
Thank you, Rashaki. Any comments before we move on from the preparing for the mayor to join us next month?
Maybe kind of going into it, being prepared to ask, okay, how can this council support his long-term vision? I think would be also something worth discussing.
I like that. I think that might have been captured in one of them, but I certainly think that's an overarching point to walk away with in terms of maybe actionable things that we can do. I have heard the mayor speak, and I'm by no means his representative, but I have heard him speak several times, and I know a lot of, where he comes from is working together with the community. So I think, us asking our questions and getting those answers, but also asking how we can be more collaborative. I think that it was sort of interwoven in that, but also just making sure that we explicitly let him know that we're interested in getting some information and direction there. Thank you. Okay. Well, if there's anything else that comes up between now and when I share the talking points, feel free to reach out to the executive team and myself. Well, I'm a part of the executive team. For Community Development Week, I actually will tag team Maggie back in to provide an overview of some of the things that are on the horizon for next month.
Hey, good evening all. Thank you, Valen. So as Valen shared, we received the feedback y'all provided last month and are working towards implementing some of the recommendations you provided and then some for our Community Development Week celebration. Again, that takes place April 21st to the 25th. So some of the items we have kind of in the pipeline for celebrating and amplifying the impact of our Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, and Home Investment Partnerships Program, or HOME funding source. We have a mayoral proclamation that we hope to have presented during the April 21st City Council meeting. That'll be 7 p.m. that night. Additionally, we are working with reinvestment partners to plan for a groundbreaking of their Harriet's Place project. This project has a mixture of 3 funding sources: CDBG, American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA funding, and then bond funding. And that's to the tune of about 3.2 million. And there will be 17 affordable rental units created, rehabbed as a result of this project. The Harriet's Place project is historic and of large significance within the community. It's at the old YWCA building. And so we are working with them to coordinate a groundbreaking of some sort for celebration during that week. We are also working to try and have Reginald featured in some sort of public communications outlet, like via an interview or a brief clip or video, looking at the internal city communications channels and then external, like WRAL, things of that sort, to highlight how CDBG and home funding has positively benefited Durham and some of the projects that have been completed. So we're working through that. We are trying to put together a virtual tour of CDBG and home funded projects. This virtual tour will be by way of like an interactive spatial map using GIS software and posted to our website for the folks, for community members, committee members, anyone to access and view. So it'll be interactive. Folks can click around and see, okay, these are some of the CDBG projects and the home projects we've invested in and what their relevant impact is. And there'll be pictures and things of that sort. So to try and give a more holistic overview of what we've done with these funding sources in recent years, and it'll be accessible really forever and something we can build upon and continue to use to kind of celebrate Community Development Week moving forward. And then the
Love that, Maggie. Just need to throw that out there. Love it.
Thanks for Shockey. Yeah, we're excited. We have some staffing capability actually within my team who are well versed in all things GIS and some of the other technological solutions that can help us better tell the story of the work that we're doing. So it's really exciting to have that capacity now and to be able to carry that out. And then lastly, we are planning an advocacy event. I think that's the most apt name of what we're trying to arrange. So this advocacy event is a result of National Community Development Association's call to action to entitlement jurisdictions to really advocate to federal leaders, our congressmen and other folks at the federal level about the continued need for CDBG and home funding, the positive impacts it has in the community. And so we anticipate this advocacy event would be geared and directed towards our subrecipients CAC members and other city leadership to fill out some note cards that will then be mailed to our respective congressmen. And that will help, again, advocate for the continued need for these funding sources and to increase funding allocations for each of them respectively at the national level. And so I anticipate that being in person at community development, kind of open house style, for folks to drop in and fill out those note cards so they can be mailed off. So those are the kind of 5 events. We are still formalizing the specific date for each of those events, other than the mayoral proclamation. That will be during that Monday's city council meeting. I should preface, we've submitted the request to have that presented during that Monday city council meeting. And those other remaining events, we're still nailing down those definitive dates that they are happening. But what will happen by the end of this week, I will have something out formalized, a summation of each of these events, when and where, and then all committee members, you'll receive invitations that go out for each of the respective events, or information about like when the virtual tour is posted on our website, or if we're able to secure some sort of news feature when that will be airing. And so that's Community Development Week, what we're looking to do. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Okay, great.
Thank you, Maggie. I really do appreciate last month we threw the ideas out there and you and your team took them and ran. So I really do appreciate all of the legwork that happens in between these meetings to execute our vision, our thoughts. So thank you. We appreciate it, and we'll be on the lookout for those invitations.
Great. Thank you, Valen. Thanks everyone for the great ideas. Like Valen said, you all were the foundation, and we appreciate it. So thank you.
Thanks, Maggie. For our June meeting, the executive team would like to discuss hosting an awards and recognition dinner in lieu of the June meeting, like we did last year with our community partners. I think it was a great time for everyone who was able to attend. It was great networking, but also just relationship building, putting names to faces, actually learning about the organizations that receive money from the community development department, and really kind of intimately learning about how the funds are used and the impact on the community. So it was really helpful for me just to kind of to experience that part. And so we would like to host it again for all of those reasons. And it also allows us to spend the remaining money that we have in the budget for this program year. And so we wanted to get your thoughts on that. Rashaki, I see your hand up.
Yes, I just also wanted to add, thanks, Valen. I also wanted to add that our community partners really appreciated the recognition dinner. It not only does it serve for acknowledgement of all the great work that's happening in the city, but those organizations actually appreciate the opportunity to highlight that they've been recognized, so that they can continue to receive accompanying funds. So just wanted to throw that out there, that the feedback from last year, prior and post the recognition dinner, was really good.
Thank you, Rashaki. That's very
Thank
true.
you.
Oh, I hear someone else. Anybody else want to chime in?
I did have a question. I know last year it was, I think, sponsored by that banking organization, and they kind of had their presentation. So I do like the idea of doing something similar, but I wonder what would replace that presentation piece.
Oh, that's a good point. So last year we utilized our funding. I think our money went to the plaques. They were really nice, like glass plaques and awards that went to the organizations. And I do believe the meal was sponsored by was it the local government federal credit union?
That's
Um,
correct.
and so that was sort of the exchange for them sponsoring? That's a good question. I don't know if we now I don't know, Maggie, this is for this I don't know city protocol. So if we were to get a different sponsor, because I don't know if our funds, I know it's less than $1,000. So I don't know that our funds would allow us to purchase awards and dinner. So if you all know of other sponsors who might want to sponsor a dinner. I don't know if there are rules and regulations on the city side, but assuming I don't know if it's a possibility that local government federal credit union will maybe sponsor again. And then we ask them in lieu of a presentation if there is some other way we could have their presence, but not a presentation. But I'm literally just thinking out loud. Anybody feel free, but I'm saying that the reason that they presented was because they paid for the food. So if we know of other sponsors or other avenues to explore, then perhaps we could work around that.
We might want to start with asking them if they'll return because and he mentioned this during last year's presentation that the local federal what is it whatever it was before is becoming civic something. So they're yeah they're enhancing some of their services. And yeah, it's becoming a whole new thing. So they may want to come back and actually share about that.
Yeah, and I think they said another location was going to open up,
Oh,
so
that's true.
maybe that location's now open. I don't know.
There's also, and I'm just again, I mean, I'm thinking out the top of my head, but if they are interested in coming back, I think, it is a good opportunity for them to capture people and considering that we are eligible to utilize them. But I mean, there also is maybe we could ask if maybe they could do a presentation as part of one of our regular standing meetings, how we have people coming in. I don't know if that's a possibility, but if we wanted to move that part away from the actual dinner, so that it doesn't take away from the dinner, the awards and recognition experience.
Alan, do you mind if I just chime
Please.
in real quick? So, Civic Credit Union or local government, federal credit union, and they have opened their new branch. It's actually right around the block from where Community Development Department's office is located. They opened maybe a month or two ago. Um, if the committee decides that everyone wants to proceed with a recognition dinner, and we can then start the asks and the coordination to see if Civic Credit Union is still available and willing to donate the meal, or if we need to look at alternative options. But once we have the consensus, then I can start making those coordinations.
Thank you, Maggie. So we will need a vote to make the awards and recognition, have that take the place of our standing CAC meeting. And for clarification, because I know our meetings are monthly on the fourth. It's the fourth Monday every month, but I don't believe that last year we had it on the actual day that we normally meet. So it may be a different day in June, but the June meeting we will be voting to have the recognition dinner take place instead of the meeting on the fourth Monday.
I move to have our June meeting be replaced by the recognition dinner.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded. All in favor of replacing our standing CAC meeting in June with a awards and recognition dinner for CDD recipients. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Okay, so we have properly motion approved. We will be having an awards and recognition dinner in June in lieu of our meeting. And so details will be TBD and forthcoming. And we will look to Maggie's great leadership to connect with our previous sponsor to get the conversation started. And then we can always circle back and go from there. Next on our agenda, we have vacancies and applications for reappointment. We have been notified that there are 3 vacancies currently on the Citizens Advisory Committee with terms ending on June 30th, 2025. So the 3 people who have terms expiring have been notified by the city. And you do have until April 16th. I believe that is, double check the email from the city, but I believe you have until April 16th to either confirm or express that you will not be returning to the city. And so I just wanted to put that out there. And I wanted to encourage folks. We do have I think it's still posted. We do have Amy's seat that is open. And so I would just like to encourage the people on this committee and on the call, if you know people who are, in our community and want to be involved, please feel free to share
I'm on
the
mute.
please feel free to share the vacancy, which you can find on the city's website. Robert, were you saying something?
I'm sorry. I was speaking to my wife. I'm sorry.
Okay. Hey,
I'm
wife.
sorry.
It's okay.
Hey, Mrs.
It's
Brown.
good.
Hey, I
It's,
just wanted to make sure you had the floor if you wanted it.
it was dinner
And
time.
so
I'm sorry.
no problem. And so yeah, so we have the vacancies. Don't forget to let the city know either way. And then, like I said, for those of us, even if you do plan to depart, having been part of the committee, if you know people, like I said, feel free to share that vacancy from the city's website so that they can apply.
Fallon, thank you. I just wanted to add some additional color around this as far as recruiting for the if you have any LinkedIn presence, a great I initially I had planned to repost my spotlight and highlight the opportunity, but then we received the link to uh, uh, Mr. Johnson's public, I think it was like a public service PBS video or interview, yeah, for lack of a better word. And that is really good. Like it really made everything like kind of common knowledge. Like it broke down some of the more complex concepts that Maggie and the rest of the team there deal with. It really made it crystal clear for lay people like myself. So that would be another possible, thing you could share on LinkedIn. Just throwing that out there that's a great avenue to recruit.
Thank you, Rashaki. So there are some good resources so people can learn more about the Community Development Department as well as the Citizens Advisory Committee. And so, yeah, we don't have to recreate the wheel, just letting people know. I'm sure we all have had those kitchen table conversations. So I know a lot of people are concerned about what's going on in the community. And like we know this is a great way to learn more about what's happening, but also ensure that your voice is heard. Um, and so next we will open the floor up for any public questions or comments.
And Fallon, I'm going to jump in. I see a Susie Callis I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. I have promoted you to panelist. If you'd like to join us and provide a comment or feedback, you are welcome to join. Fallon, I don't think we're gonna have a public comment then, just looking at.
Okay. Thank you, Maggie. And
And-
Susie, we do appreciate you joining us this evening, so thank you.
Okay.
And okay.
Real quick, Val, let me check you, just
Okay, sure.
comments there. Okay, thanks, Fallon. No, there are no comments there.
Thank you, Maggie. And so we will, I'll open the floor for any announcements that you all have. Okay, no announcement, seeing none. We don't have to have a vote to end a meeting. So if there is nothing further, we can adjourn the meeting now, and I will see you all next month when Mayor Williams joins us.
Thank you, Valen, Maggie, Sherrard, team.
Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
all.
Contributions.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
All right, y'all. Talk soon.
All right,
Good night.
bye-bye. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Maggie.